Not that anybody either cares or should care, but today actually marks the 6th anniversary of the last time I had, quote, full-blown, unquote, sex. But remember, my sex life with Donna was horrible, so and that was from 2001 to 2008. The last time I had sex was with Donald on April 6, 2008. If you actually want to call it that. Just purposely last time he penetrated me. Last time I had sex was April 6, 2008. And today is April 6, 2014. So 6 years ago. They recommend to protect your eyes. I've never had sunglasses this big, but to really protect your eyes, that's what they recommend. They're polarized too. They're $22 at CVS plus tax. I drank my other Steel Reserve beer today. I walked down to return Dallas Buyers Club. I got Wolf of Wall Street to watch by myself after he goes to bed. And I also got and I poured into here because I was going to walk with my Walkman blasting, my MP3 player blasting in my ear, and discreetly drink this. Not even on the main road, just on the, around here, but I decided not to. Shouldn't be drinking, Laura. Yeah, I know. So I'm fond of saying about everything I don't care. I'll call Cheryl tomorrow. Tell her I don't understand what's going on. I had told you to profusely thank my mom's social worker, and then I find out that you didn't tell me the whole truth, so obviously you weren't told the whole truth. She didn't tell you the whole truth. Now I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. Got mad at the CVS people last night because when I didn't have my card, when I was in the town where I was visiting my mom, and I bought makeup that I'm actually going to keep, but I have other makeup I want to return, and I can't find the receipt. I don't really like to return stuff without the receipt. I know you can, and you get a credit, and I can use it and whatnot, but in any case, they were nice. They gave me the sale price for all my makeup, and I was shocked at this because I didn't have my card, and it was on the weekend, and I couldn't call up, and they thought we could, whatever. As a courtesy, they gave me their thing, and they also wrote a thing for the extra bucks and said all you have to do is show your card at any CVS and they'll give you these extra bucks. No, my CVS was like, this looks, yeah, you have to buy the stuff. This looks like you get the extra bucks. They didn't acknowledge it, and they even call. I was like, well, call over there. I knew I had the receipt home, but I gave them a hard time because I was pissed off. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I'd purchased that. I didn't even ever expect that other CVS to give me extra bucks when I had my card. I was happy to get the sale price. But they offered to give me a thing to get the extra bucks too. You know, because if they put in their card, it's not going to print out your extra bucks. So they gave me a rain check type thing, but even I looked at it, but I told this thing, I was mad. I was mad because it was just ridiculous. I hadn't done anything wrong, and I said, I'll be back. They probably thought I wouldn't be back. They probably thought it was... I said, what do you think, I forged this? How could I forge it? It's your rain check type thing. I know it doesn't look like it, but that's why I was anal. I was proactive. I said, are you sure this will work? Oh, yeah, it'll work well. And she had to have done it before. I couldn't have been the first time ever. And this CVS wouldn't honor it, but then they said, well, if you have the receipt, shows you bought the makeup. I made them call over there anyway, because I told them outright, I'm giving you a hard time because I asked them, are you sure this will work, and blah, blah. And they were actually, I had purchased something else that they were going to let me use the extra bucks on immediately. But it was makeup I thought I would probably wind up returning, so I didn't want to use the extra bucks for that. And I just said, no, it's okay, you know, I'll wait. You say it'll be no problem and it'll never expire. I went through hell, so I put them through hell. And then I had him, we had to go get the movie anyway, so I had him, can you drive me to CVS? He didn't even ask why. He thought I forgot something. No, I told him that. But he drove me down, and I said, and then the same guy was like, thanks, and well, thank you for coming back with the receipt. I'm like, you weren't going to give me these $6 either. If I did and come back with the receipt, don't thank me, you know. And I told them, I'm sorry, you know, I know it's not your fault, you know, I told them responsible, and you know, but I may have swore, I don't know, I was pissed. But it's not like I swore continuously, I just swore once. I think I did. Because I was pissed. I hadn't done anything wrong, and that other CVS had stressed I'd have no problem, and they should all be on the same page. But in any case, even in the end, I got the extra bucks, but it was put in as a coupon. It wasn't put in as extra bucks, put in as a coupon. So if I wanted to return these, I would lose the $6 anyway. That's kind of ridiculous. But then again, I didn't expect to get it to begin with, and I told him, I didn't apologize. It was a half apology. It was kind of like, I know you know, I don't really hold you responsible, because they were like, we can't accept this. We called over, and the person that did blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You should all be on the same page. That's when I might have swore. I probably just said you should all be on the same fucking page. You know, I was pissed in the beginning, but then when I came back, I was like, see, have the receipt, I bought the makeup, the same person, he wanted to keep my receipt. I said, no, you can't, in case I'm probably going to call over there and talk to a manager and say, you know, you guys should all be on the same page. I got a hard time for this, ridiculous. And it was the same woman on the receipt that I bought the makeup on. She had signed that thing. You wouldn't think an official thing I would have a hard time. They should be all on the same page, so... Anyway, so they were 22. I got them for have to have them. I never bought ones this big before, but they're better, and they're polarized. They're better to protect your whole eye from, you know, sun and whatnot, wrinkles. Tomorrow's supposed to be warm. Tomorrow I really should go to the mall and see about getting fitted for sneakers. Probably will. I only got one of those 4 things, and it's not going to get me buzzed. I didn't get buzzed off the Star Reserve last night. I won't get buzzed off of this. eaten that much. So if I down it fast, it might give me a little buzz. But by the time I'm watching Wolf of Wall Street, the buzz will be gone anyway. So cute. He actually said to me last week, I can't imagine you drunk. Yeah. The reason you can't imagine it is because I have a split personality. You only know one side of me, and that's intentionally on my part. And I give you slight glimpses, but very slight. Very, very slight. Wanted to get Don Juan too. I could have watched tomorrow while he was at work. They only had it on Blu-ray, so I just got Wolf of Wall Street. I'll get Don Juan some other time. Escape into raunchy movies. You have to understand, I'm not evil, but I'm not naturally, like, good, you know. I give off the persona of being sweet and good, but I have this dark side to me that if it doesn't get fed, it's just like and it doesn't have to be fed a lot, just a little bit. Feed it a little bit, It's not like I want to do heroin. I just want to go out drinking and dancing. But with friends and get hit on by hot guys and just, and it's not like I want an orgy. I just, I can go on and on. The dark side in me just needs to be fed a little bit. Otherwise it's just like a wound that festers, Needs to be fed a little bit. But when it's not being fed at all, well, that's where we get into trouble. So we get into trouble. You watch Dallas Buyers Club. So life is so fascinating to me. You watch Dallas Buyers Club where, these people are desperate to stay alive. And then you have all these people that commit suicide who are desperate to die. And then you have people like me. I was right in the middle. I wasn't going to commit suicide. I didn't really want to be alive, so I engaged in tons and tons of self-destructive behavior that could have led to my death and should have, actually, by all things rational, but in the end did not. I knew. Every time I was going home with a guy or bringing a guy home or doing anything self-destructive, I knew I could die. I just didn't care. I put it in the hands of fate, but I knew, I was aware. I was 100% aware at all times. I'm not an idiot, I knew what I was doing. I just did it anyway. The thing is, I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't do it now. But the reasons I wouldn't do it now have nothing to do with me wanting to be alive any more than I wanted to be alive back when I was doing it, see? It's not that I want to be here any more than I did. I guess the reasons I wouldn't do it now, if we have to really pinpoint them, I don't know. Well, we know that I want to give a big fuck you to Marion, so I can't do that if I'm dead. We also know that I want to try to save my mother, although that's probably going to be a lesson in futility. I know, I'm telling you, I don't want to be here even the slightest little bit more than I didn't want to, you know what I mean? It hasn't like I suddenly want to be here and didn't back then. No, it's the same. It's the same. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed one bit. Not one bit. Not one even tiny bit. Yet I would never now do what I did back then. Well, I also came to the realization that I might not die and might just wish that I had died. You know what I mean? So that was a big, deterrent from doing what I used to do. Because I might not die, Remember, I got raped on a couple occasions. Drop in the bucket compared to my whole life, so I wouldn't say it affects me all that much, just another thing to add to the list, but I wouldn't do it. I would not do what I used to do. I'm happy to say that I wouldn't, but I'm not happy, that it has nothing to do with me wanting to be here any more than I wanted to be here back then. I've just changed, and I just wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I know that I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I guess because in the end, it's just like Dallas Buyers Club. He eventually, he did die, but he just didn't want it to be in someone else's hands, or he didn't want it to be decided even in fate, like, you're going to die in 30 days and that's all, there's nothing you can do about it. He fought, I guess if I'm, it's a coward's way. I'm not going to do what I used to do. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna just, if I really, wanted to die, then I'll commit suicide, but I'm not going to do what I used to do and put it in the hands of fate. I've matured, I'm not going to do that anymore. But nevertheless, that doesn't mean that I want to be here any more than I've wanted to be there back then when I was doing all of that, It hasn't changed. My feelings haven't changed. Just only my behavior has drastically changed. My feelings haven't. They haven't. They haven't. So there you go. Don't want to be here. I never have wanted to be here. But Joe, that guy, my ex, I've been friends with now for going on 20 years. Before Donald did what he did to me, I remember I've stayed friends with this guy. Although we lost touch for a while, but I found him again. And he sent me a card, said, the world's a nicer place just knowing you're in it. So, he at least wants me around, And then in LA, that homeless guy who, as it turned out, he just so happened to have a cop as a father, the one that those cops beat to death. I didn't follow up on that story, although last I heard, I think miraculously those cops were actually punished, at least one or two of them. He was on the ground screaming for his father, and I watched the video. He was on the ground screaming for his father while the cops were beating him to death. Okay, he wasn't any threat, and I believe a couple of those cops did get punished. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because Dr. McGoogle or something, I don't know what his name was, but he wrote to me, via this, and he said, the world needs people like you, Laura. You cared about that homeless guy. Nothing would have come of that. The only reason it did is because it just so happened they fucked with the wrong homeless guy. They thought he would just be a nothing and nobody would give a shit. Turned out his father was a cop or an ex-cop or an ex-police chief, I believe. So they weren't going to get away with it like they thought that they would. I don't know if they got punished. Last I heard, I think one or two was going to get punished, but more than one or two took part in it. It was like a gang thing. They saw the two were doing it, and then they joined in. So I don't know. I guess that's another reason. Just because my family or whatnot, some of them have made me feel just like I'm worthless. And Donald, of course, made me feel like I was worthless. And my father, of course, made me feel like I was worthless. There are people that don't feel that way about me. And like I said, Joe is the only person, the only human being on this planet who I admire, and definitely, male or female, the only human being on this planet who I 100% trust. Unfortunately, my mother's illness makes it that I can't trust her. That's just reality. That's how it goes. I know Joe would be sad if something happened to me. I know my mom, if she's in her right frame of mind, definitely would be sad. But my mom used to say to me, I promised her I would never kill myself, but I wouldn't promise. She was like, can you not engage? And she knew about the self-destructive behavior. Can you promise me not to pick up men, not to engage in it? No, sorry, Mom, can't. And I know why I did it. I know why I think about it. First of all, I'm so fucking artistically frustrated. You know what I mean? I don't fit in or belong anywhere. I can't have the marriage kids because I don't have that mentality. Can't have the fame because I'm not, just couldn't have it. Couldn't make it happen. So I'm in limbo constantly. And while I'm in limbo, I'm also being chased constantly by the demons, by the not literal demons, but by the demons of my past, and the demons of the fears of succumbing to the mental illness that runs in my family. So you wonder why I picked up men, because I could feel alive. I could just, and I looked really good, and I got hit on, and these men were lusting after me, But you think about it, that's the big thing. I'm a misfit. I'm a misfit freak. I don't belong here. I've never fit in or belonged anywhere. And then also on top of all of that shit, I'm chased by the demons, that what happened to my mom's going to happen to me. What happened to my mom's going to happen to me. So doing what I did was an escape. It was, it was an escape. It was escape from the fears and the whatever. But be that as it may, I still wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again. That's the past, and I wouldn't do it again. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't even want to. Because in the end, I really didn't enjoy it anyway. You know what I mean? I enjoyed my encounters with Doug, but that's because he was my FWB and he cared about me. The rest of them, no. I can count on my fingers. There was this one guy who did this, I can't elaborate, but he was a one-night stand that I can say, yeah, that was really hot. I can approach elaboration. I can say that we went downstairs when we came home from the club, and we went downstairs, right, and he turned up music that I liked, full blast, and then he dropped to his knees. I can elaborate without, that was once. And then another time, this guy, he turned out that he was an ex-convict, didn't know that at the time. And he wanted to practice on me a technique he had learned from a book in prison. This was before I even knew that he was an ex-convict. He was a sweetheart, though. He had been in jail for 10 years, but it had happened when he was, I think, 19, or, I don't know, I guess it was when he was 19, 29. Just 10 years, I don't know. He said that he didn't hurt anybody or whatnot. He was part of a bank robbery, I guess, and he was out in the car, I don't know. All I know is that he was a sweetheart, but it wasn't, nothing was going to come of that, and I really couldn't deal with. I wound up seeing him for like a month. I can't remember if I had sex with him or not. But obviously, I probably did, but if I can't remember, then obviously it wasn't anything to write home about. Then he only did that one thing that one time as an experiment, so I wouldn't go back to doing that again. I wouldn't. I have no desire to. It's not like I ever even enjoyed it all that much anyway. I didn't do it for sex. I did it just to, I don't know. I guess a part of me knows. It's very hard to articulate. Really hard to articulate. I guess you can refer to that movie, 2 Men Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Because I was doing this shit after I lost Joe. I was doing it before Joe, so I just went back to doing the same thing. Until Donald saved me, found me on Alicia's world and saved me. Except he didn't save me. He nearly destroyed me in the end. Isn't that always the way with me? So now I just wouldn't do anything and don't trust men. Like I said, in over a year I've met exactly 2 men via the dating websites. 2. And the first one who did what nobody had ever done to me in my life. Not male or female. So yeah, in case you don't remember, I've had sex with women when I was in my 20s, just on 2 occasions, only twice. 2 different women. That were friends. First one I thought would be a better friend, and then we wound up not being friends at all, so she lied. She said we're going to be really good friends after this, and then we weren't. But recently, a little over a year ago, that guy, because he wanted to, he was into that. He rubbed my feet, and he bit my feet, and he sucked on my toes, and he licked my feet, and it was so hot, and nobody had ever done that to me before, so it was pretty damn cool. And then the second one was a few months later, They met on the beach. Had to take 3 buses to get there. Ridiculous. I paid him $100 to massage me for an hour. He stayed only a half hour longer. Both these guys are really hot, by the way. To me, I believe they would be hot to most women, but they were hot to me anyway. They were hot. And that's what I wanted. Because I'm not looking for a boyfriend or whatever. I want to be hot for the guy. I want him to be hot, hot, hot for me, and I want to be hot for him. If you're looking for a boyfriend, it's different, you know, but I'm not, so. Beach guy, oh, I could have had a lot of fun with him if I was willing to not acknowledge the fact that I would have wound up being nervous because I didn't feel like he liked me for anything more than my body. And yeah, he was hot, hot, hot for my body, no denying that, but in the end, I said, adios. If you can't even agree to see me on a second date without there being a 100% promise of sex, then I don't want to see you, because I want the build-up and the excitement anyway. I want the excitement of not knowing whether it'll happen or not, okay? And yes, you can still have that with an FWB, because even with an FWB, you won't necessarily fool around. You might start slowly, and then you might decide you want to. You build up trust and whatnot. So that's that. I'll age restrict this, even though it's not really that explicit. I'll age restrict it anyway.